Everyone's favorite BitTorrent sharing site, the Pirate Bay, has still seen some better days. They've suffered some legal losses. They've suffered, maybe an uptick in users as their notoriety continues to increase. But now the company's been busy, and they've actually been sold to a Swedish games company for about $7 million, give or take. Why is exactly the Pirate Bay being sold, and what it means for the future of the company? Let's talk to a couple technology experts. We bring in Doug Aamoth from CrunchGear. Doug, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Also, we bring in JG Mason from Gadgetel. JG, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Randall.
So this is a kind of a weird situation. We've heard a couple months ago that the team at the Pirate Bay suffered a big legal loss. They were found liable, and they owed a lot of money to the government for violating copyrights. Now they're saying, we've been bought by this other company. Doug, what do you think is going on here? I mean, do you think that this is some legit operation? Or, I mean, it just seems like such a mess.
It's at first, when everything was breaking this morning, everyone's going all apeshit about what's going on, and when you sit back and think about it, it actually makes sense to a certain extent. They've got a lot of legal bills they have to pay. They have $4.5 million legal bills. They sell this site for almost $8 million, so they can pay off their legal fees. They got 30% in capital gains tax and a little bit left over for themselves. And I predict that within 6 months to a year, they could, if they wanted to, start up the Pirate Bay 2 or a completely new site. And I predict that if they do, they will call it Yar Space.
It's pretty great. So they can literally just, if they want it, everyone's like, oh, $8 million seems really cheap. Why did they sell it for so cheap? Well, because it's mostly code, and the site is basically links, and all they need to do is roll that code onto a new server somewhere down the line, call it something different, and the Pirate Bay is back. It's kind of a weird situation. I mean, really, they haven't, it seems odd in that there's not a lot to the site, like you say. It's just basically links, just basically technology. And when previous piracy companies like Napster or Kazaa, for instance, have tried to go legit, things haven't worked out perfectly. JG, what's your take? Do you think that this is going to, be roses and flowers for the Pirate Bay?
I think they're going to go down the same road. The first thing they do is announce that they're going to go legit. That's going to seem like the wrong move to an awful lot of people, and most of them were there on Pirate Bay for that reason.
Yeah.
I think they're going to find a very tough road to hoe.
So this is obviously like a really, it seems so out of character for the company. Do you think there's any chance that their core users will stick around, JG?
I don't see it. Like Doug was saying, as soon as they roll back something else and it's the original Pirate Bay guys, I think everybody's just going to flock straight to them. Yeah. We've seen it happen before.
So do either of you guys have an idea as why a game company would actually want their user base? Doug, do you have any inkling, maybe?
I mean, I don't know too much about this game company at all. It would depend on the infrastructure that they have in place. They have, if they have like a Steam-like interface that they use similar to Valve, that for downloading content, some sort of download content manager that they've developed, they could parlay it into music and movies and stuff like that. But the whole deal here is that you have conflicting statements from each company. Pirate Bay says if new owners screw around with the site, nobody will use it. And what's the first thing the new owners say is, we would like to introduce new models and screw around and everything and get people to pay for stuff. So I don't think the Pirate Bay is not going to continue to function as it used to. This $8 million purchase seems to me like they're paying for the traffic, which will eventually tail off, and the name, and that's about it. Although the name, the Pirate Bay, kind of connotates it. There'll be some illegal stuff going on. But
Pirate Bay, maybe there's some piracy involved.
I'd agree with Doug.
Yeah. JG, I mean,
I'd agree with Doug. This is mostly a marketing buy.
Yeah, I mean, how much value is the marketing though? I mean, like this, I don't know. I'm personally, if you can't tell, I'm kind of in shock because it just doesn't all, like the stars don't line up. There's something screwy going on. Maybe it's a shell game.
Well,
I don't know.
If I'm the gaming company and if Pirate Bay users, demographically they're trending in their early 20s. Late teens, and if I'm a gaming company, that's an attractive market for me to try to get my name in front of. And I believe that that's all that they're trying to do with this.
That kind of makes sense, I guess. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Obviously, we're not really convinced that this is going to do anything.
But kudos to the Swedish gaming company for maybe stepping out on a limb and walking the plank. Hey, see what I did there?
Yeah, I predict that maybe it's going to be a fan site for Sid Meier's Pirates. Remember?
Hey.
So it'll be the Pirate Bay where you go for all the latest news on Sid Meier's Pirates.
They got to do something if they're not, actually going to be smart about this. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there. We're out of time. Doug Aamoth from CrunchGear. There's videos there, reviews, everything. Check him out over there. Also, JG Mason from Gadgetel. I think, JG, you run that site, right? It's your baby, right?
No, I'm just one of the helpful hands.
One of the lowly employees that works on it. Anyway, that is for this show. I'm Randall Bennett. Check us out, techv.com. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to us on iTunes and give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. See you later.